can't wait to see your next
Speaking of Blood and Water, actually, I believe that Blood and Water, well, Queenstone and Blood and Water, I think, was a stepping stone of like what's to come in the future. Well, back in that time, because when I watched it, I was like, I'm so excited for SA films and series. Like with Netflix coming on board, I was like, this is gonna take us to another level.
Especially on the end of like production value, those are really, really good. Like, Queenstone was really, really good.
Hey everybody, my name is Ramohlale from SA Film Chronicles, and today I'm joined by one of South Africa's greatest movie reviewers, filmmakers. This man is like, he's amazing. Nqanawe Shangase is finally on my channel. We've been debating this for so long.
For years.
For years?
Yeah.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. You?
I'm great, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude,
I've been trying to come onto this channel for a very long while.
Yeah, I've been like meaning to have you, and you know, we were supposed to actually shoot Blood and Water review together.
We were,
and then it's just unfortunate circumstances that happened.
Yeah.
But you know, God always makes a plan, and now we're here. Yeah, now can you just please tell us more about
Blood and Water?
Oh yeah, we're at Netflix today. Yeah, Netflix and chilling. Not that way.
No,
not that way. So tell us a bit background about yourself. Like, how did you get into film? How did it all start?
Oh man, we'll be here the whole day. The long and short of it is the fact that I'd always wanted to do film, but when I got here in Gauteng from KZN, it just seemed closer than ever, and then I started chasing after it. Yeah, no film school, unfortunately. But I do wish I went to film school, but I think it's a bit too late for me for that.
And let's speak about that theme of, you know, film school. I like that you mentioned that because, you know, these days there's various ways that filmmakers can learn film, like through YouTube and, you know, things like that. So, like, tell me, what are your thoughts on that? Film school.
Oh man, I think it's a bit tricky when it comes to art-related things, specifically film and film school, because I do think there's a lot of value in going to an accredited institution to learn something. But I do believe for other things, some things are you can be born with it. I know a lot of people who are from, you know, fresh out of film school, not even fresh, but like graduated, but they're not that great. But I also know just as many who are from film school who are also dope. So I think when it comes to art, man, I judge a person based on like that. Like, are you dope though? Yeah, sure, you went to this school and you have this degree and that's great and everything, and it doesn't, you know, and it helps. But like, okay, but the work though, at the end of the day, are you dope? If you're a cinematographer, you're a dope cinematographer. It helps if you went to such a school, but if you didn't, I don't view you lesser than. You get what I'm saying?
But
so
like,
for me, it's kind of the same thing. To be honest though, I'm not denouncing film school. I wanted to go to film school. I wanted to go to film school. The money was just not hanging at the time. So I went about it however I could go about it. By the time things started getting better, I was too ahead.
But you know, for me, I just feel like, don't you think like it's so expensive? Like these film schools are crazy expensive. And you know, interesting actually, I spoke to Austin, the photographer, and he was like to me, look, Ed, if you had 300,000 instead of splashing it at a film school, rather invest in equipment and start your own production or something like that, and build on from there. Because trust me, by the time you get out of film school, you're almost likely to do that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I actually agree, because I remember in my first year of like self-teaching, I was already working with like graduates, third year students, and by the way, self-teaching. So when you're self-teaching, you don't know whether you're doing something right or wrong. It's literally trial and error, YouTube videos, this, that, and the third, and you get better through time. But there was a time, you know, sometimes you'll size yourself up against another person. You'll be like, you graduated, degree in film, but I'm better than, you know. But so it'll be that thing, because sometimes you work with people and you're really excited. Or when you get there, you realize, and then you get to find out the very sad reality about film school, which is, I would say film school affords you access to equipment, to a network. I feel like the network you get at film school.
Yes, that's very true. And you know who actually said that?
Amazing.
You know who told me that? Mateo Moing, the cinematographer, he literally said that like the benefits of film school is that you get to create networks, because those people that you are graduating with are most likely to take up other roles in the industry. And let's just say there's we're shooting a commercial and we need a director. I know Nqanawe is a director. I mean, he's a dope director. We shot our third year film together,
Exactly.
whatever, and it just creates a. So I think that's possibly some of the advantages of
That's
that. Yeah.
arguably the greatest one. The second one, or top two greatest, is exactly that. The fact that you do have access to equipment. You have cameras, cinema cameras, tripods, lights. So if you really want to be a dope filmmaker, and you don't have access to certain resources and people, I'd say go to film school, bro. Definitely go to film school, learn what you're learning in class, but don't, because I realize a lot of people stop once the lesson is over.
Yeah.
So you just go to school, you attend a lecture, which there's not really much you're gonna learn just sitting there.
Yeah.
What matters is, okay, we're done now. Let's go shoot so-and-so's music video. Let's go.
So what are you doing? What are you doing as an extramural after school? Yes. And if you're a film student or a young upcoming creative, I think this is very valuable lessons that you should take from this conversation, because it's very important. Like, how many times have we seen like people go to film school and then like isn't there Shangase afterwards? It's like,
yeah, boy, it's that thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's also another sad part, is the fact that you spend 3 years, bro. If you teach yourself for 3 years how to be a filmmaker, you could level up so much as opposed to relying just on the curriculum. So like I said, I know a lot of filmmakers who have degrees who are really dope, but whenever I look at what they did when they were in film school, they never rested. I'm not saying overwork yourself, but I'm saying the minute they're done, they go to wherever they can book out equipment. On weekends, they're always shooting, they're editing, do as many things as possible. That's another thing I'd say about, if you're interested in pursuing filmmaking, don't tell yourself, I want to be a director, therefore I'm only going to focus on directing. Bad idea. Bad idea. Do as much as you can possibly do.
But with that being said, I've always had an issue in terms of those film schools, because I think you honestly just buy the degree, because people always ask me like, would you? No, seriously, people always DM me and ask me like, would you go to AFTA and that? Is it worth it?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, guys, when you go to AFTA, it's a fantastic institution. But honestly, I think many film schools, you're probably just buying the degree. And if you could actually self-teach yourself, because YouTube's literally got everything. I mean, I've learned more on YouTube than I would at film school. You know what I'm saying? So I've always had an issue with that. But
the University of YouTube.
The University of YouTube. And I think it's underrated, eh? YouTube, it's your.
I was actually speaking to my friend just this morning.
Yeah.
Actually. Everything you see me do now, it's all thanks to these random strangers on the internet teaching me how to do it. And you learn a lot. It's really, at the end of the day, it's really just about. I feel like if you're keen, interested, like excited about the thing, there's no way you're not gonna learn and improve. But that's just my dumb theory. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's even if you want to be a director, find out what are the other things around directing. There's cinematography, there's editing, there's writing, there's acting, etc., etc., etc. Directing is almost like a result of knowing these other things.
Yeah.
You can only become a great director if you're a good writer. If you don't have to be the best, But what's the saying? The jack of all trades is a bit better of what's jack of all trades?
I don't know that saying.
Yes, jack of all trades is a master of none, but it's still better than jack of all trades but master of none, still better than a master of one. That's what the
I've never heard that. I do not want to lie and sound smart. I've never heard that.
That's what it is. Jack of all trades is a master of none.
Yeah.
Which means, you're doing 5 things, but you're not dope at any of them. But then the saying goes on, it's better than being a master of one. So what's the point of just being a dope cinematographer only?
Yeah.
That's great. But what is the point, especially if you're still starting out? Like, feel things out. That's another thing. You get into this industry, I'm sure you've had experience where you're like, I think I like editing. And then you find out I actually don't.
And you're actually good at something else.
So I learned that with myself. I don't like editing, but when I got there, I realized I'm actually really, I'm good at editing, and other things. So you realize, certain things that you love, you might not necessarily be great at. So you need to work more on that. And then certain things that you hate, you might find that you just have a knack for that. I don't care for this, but I'm pretty good at doing it. Things like those. So use this to teach yourself that, use this eventually for you to get to wherever you need to be.
Yeah.
So I think, and also film being a collaborative thing.
Yes. I was going to speak about that, like the power of collaboration,
So obviously you need to be able to communicate in different cinematic languages. If I'm speaking to a cinematographer, I need to be able to speak in,
need to understand contrast, rule of thirds, lenses, and all. Yeah.
If I'm speaking to an editor, I need to understand what an editor's language is. If I'm speaking to an actor, I cannot speak to all these 3 people the same. These are 3 different ilks of people, and they do not work the same. So that's another point of me talking the whole thing about. Don't just say I want to be a director. This goes back to the film school thing. People go to film school for 3 years, major in directing. You get out there, but you've never really done the other thing, so you don't know how to communicate as a director.
And there's lots of directors. It's packed, eh? Jesus.
And it's like, so then what are we doing, bro? Like, what are you doing? You've never edited a day in your life. You've never written a day. And once again, you don't need to be dope at these things, but you need to know them enough.
You're right.
Know how to speak to a cinematographer, to know how to speak to an editor and give it, because everybody's looking to you for answers, bro. Like, okay.
But bro, look, this is what I've always advocated for, and I'm like, guys, it's important. Don't just learn how to just be a cinematographer, be a director.
Yeah.
I always told myself the principles that I think that'll get you far in this industry, if you really want to like go far and be more of an all-rounder, which is something that I think you are, is that you need to be able to, I want to know how to be able to write, direct, shoot, and edit. I think those 4 key ones. We can even collaborate cinematography and directing, because you can direct while you're shooting.
Yeah.
So we can even put that as one. So you can write, shoot, direct, and then you know how to edit your own stuff. I think that's very important.
Very basic, because then you can wake up on a Saturday morning and shoot a short film, a 1 minute long short film by yourself. You have a camera, you wrote a 2-page script by yourself.
Yeah.
You wake up, you act in it, you call your friend, you guys act in it together. It's 2 minutes long. By the end of the day, you guys have wrapped. You sit down there Sunday, you spend the whole of Sunday editing. It. By Monday, you're putting it on the YouTube channel.
And I think we need more of that. Actually, let's talk about the future of South African films and things like that. And that's a very good point that you make over there, because I've been researching ways of how to get your film on Netflix, and I think like. I mean, people always ask how do you get your film on Netflix? Whatnot. And I think what's important for people to know is that there's a million people that are pitching to Netflix, that are submitting their proposal and things like that. But I think what's important, the advice that I would give you, right? You start somewhere, shoot your own stuff. Just get out there, right? Shoot. And now dating back to the power of collaboration. I know a friend who's a cinematographer, right? You know a friend that's a director. I know a friend that's an editor. We get all those people saying, "Listen, guys, it's a passion project. I'll pay for your petrol. Let's shoot this thing." And you never know, you could shoot something so dope. And another point that I want to say is that, just get out there, shoot your stuff, right? And just get your work out there. You never know who will see your work.
So there's that. There's absolutely that. Get your stuff out there, because you never know who can see your work.
Yeah.
But I also believe in a certain, just a certain level of excellence. One thing is, no one is born a filmmaker, bro.
True.
Is
it's an art that you learn. Yes.
No one, you may be born a storyteller.
Or you're born talented. Yeah, you could be talented. Yeah.
You're born, a storyteller. It doesn't, because filmmaking brings so many other art forms into one.
Yes.
So you kind of have to genuinely start at the bottom. The first thing you'll do will probably be crap. So really just
yes, that's true. But you will start somewhere.
So that's the importance of doing it when no one's watching. Shoot a video, get better, can it if you can, and keep it in your hard drive, delete it, do whatever. Just keep trying. A year, so much can happen in a year as far as just artistic improvement, just your talent getting better.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Filmmaking is not just talent. There's a lot of technical aspects to filmmaking.
Yes.
A lot of filmmakers who are not talented at all, but they have the technical aspects of filmmaking down pat. And they're working and they're fine, So you shouldn't just rely on the fact that, I have these great ideas. But it takes so much to execute these ideas. So shoot when you can, write when you can, edit when you can. Act when you can.
You can, yeah.
You just immerse yourself in it, be a fan of it, have fun. And when you start out, not because you've shown me anything, just because I know, if you've ever practiced filmmaking, bro, the first 100 things you do are just absolute crap.
It's just wild, yeah.
Maybe one day you strike gold, you're like, oh my goodness, this is dope. Let me do it again, and you try to do it again, and it's just not coming together,
Yeah.
And a lot of people stop. They're like, oh, okay, I edited this thing, not good. Please stop. I don't think you should do that. I think you should just keep on going. This weird exponential curve where it's very flat for a very long time. When it starts going up, oh my goodness, you shock yourself.
And consistency is important. Yeah, or you got to be consistent.
You shock yourself with, oh my goodness, I'm this dope now. But it's all these years and years and years of just hitting it. So it's that. But now imagine you doing that for a good 3 to 4 to 5 years. Nobody's watching. Nobody cares. By year number 5, not only are you dope, but also, like you were saying, you don't know who might see what you're doing. Maybe the 150th thing that you actually do, which is arguably the best thing you've ever done, is the thing that probably ends up on Netflix. Who knows? You wouldn't want to end up on Netflix on trial number 1, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, true. Yes, no, that's 100% correct. Yes. So, but the more you shoot, right, that's the more practice you get and the better you become, because you start picking out mistakes and errors that you're making, and that betters your growth as a filmmaker.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because when you get to try styles out, when you're starting out, most people are emulating. You're trying to be like that person, you're trying to be like that person, but as you go, you figure out, okay, I don't really like this. Okay, this is what I'm actually good at. You find and you literally create what is very important in film, style, your style.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is my style. So, man, filmmaking is really just keep going, man. Just keep going.
I want to speak with you.
Sorry, no problem. It's very difficult, obviously, if you don't like it. I worked with a lot of people who do not like filmmaking.
But you're right. There's people that are actually going into this industry for the money, because the money looks good, and you can get found out quick, eh?
Very quick.
You can get found out very quick.
So that's the thing. You see, the only thing that can
exposed rather. You can get exposed very quick. Yeah.
The only thing that can keep you going, even on those days where nobody's watching your content, we've
experienced that.
Post a video,
we're still experiencing that. Please subscribe. It's tough.
Post a video, it's 20 views, and it's like, oh wow, okay, that's the best video I think I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Nobody watches you, So the only thing that has kept you around for so long and kept me around for so long is the fact that I genuinely like what I do.
And it's all in the heart. Exactly. It's in the heart.
I genuinely enjoy what I do. So
you love your passion.
I'm not, as much as I really want you to watch it, I want 1,000 views, I want 10,000 views, I want 100,000 views. But I just enjoyed making the video in the first place.
Yes.
I've already ticked off that itch.
Yes.
I want to talk about this.
And it's out there.
Yeah. Okay, it sucks that nobody's watching it, whatever. But I've scratched that one itch of wanting to do this one thing. So a lot of people only focus on the one end of just the thing. So it's great when you do a video that you like, and then it gets the engagement that you like, and you're like, wow, it's very fulfilling, it's amazing, it's great. But sometimes it doesn't happen like that all the time, and so how do you keep going when nobody's watching? That's the thing. Sorry, I disturbed you.
No problem. This is an interesting question, and it's something that's always bothering me. But like, you and I, we love South African films. They're like, now we love, we can go in, and I was inspired by him to start my reviewing, my movie reviewing. What do you think is the problem? Why do you think people don't watch our films? What are we doing wrong? Where are we going wrong? What is the problem? We need answers.
$1 billion question. I like that you actually asked that question, because even when I was starting out with this whole film commentary thing, that was the question I was asking myself. That's actually how I built the channel in the first place.
Oh, wow.
I started out building the channel because I wanted to practice. I wanted to use it as my film school. Like, okay, I can't go to film school, but I have a camera. I had a bridge camera at the time, very shitty camera. But it was great. It really taught me a lot. Couldn't even change a lens, just one single lens. But I started out wanting to literally get the bad out. I was like, bro, I don't know this shit except for theoretically, but I need to practice. And so I'll do like these very low budget, crappy short films, like skits basically, and then I'll keep posting them, and then hopefully over years I'll get better. But then I realized, nobody cares, nobody's gonna watch my shit, So I was like, that question hit me. Wait, why don't South Africans like watching South African
we're the
films?
first to watch Hollywood films and all these other films, but when it comes to our South African films, our people don't watch it. And what many people debate is that but South African films then they're not so great. But that we have a handful of phenomenal. Knuckle City, Kalushi, yes, Kalushi. Even Swords and Siege recently, that was also power, dude. That's just the ones that come to mind. What are some of your favorite ones that you can think of?
Some of my favorite films, Othello Burning, Mayfair.
I've never watched that actually.
Yes, by Sandra Bell. She did. She actually did on Netflix. Senzo Meyiwa docu.
Oh,
She's a
yes, yes,
phenomenal
yes, yes, yes,
filmmaker.
yes, yes, yes. I know. Yes, yes, yes.
I also, one of my favorite films is High Fantasy 2017 by I'm not forgetting her name, but I did a review of Flatland, which was the second film. Yes, came out 2020 also. I love High Fantasy more than I love Flatland. And then there's a film at the tip of my tongue. Obviously, Hijack Stories.
Yes.
Hijack
Oh, you
Stories.
like crime thrillers? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's very deep in my heart because it's one of the films that I grew up watching. And then a lot of films from the 70s and 80s by Simon Mabulu Sabela. Deliwe, they used to play on ACBC one a lot. Deliwe, Nketama, Nyaga Nyaga. I love those films. They're like cult classics because that's like the first batch of black cinema we got in South Africa.
Yeah.
By a black filmmaker, written, directed, starring. I think I mentioned it in one of my videos. Nyaga Nyaga stars who I keep forgetting his name, but Bob Mhlongo, Somizi Mhlongo's father.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Somizi Mhlongo's father was an actor.
So that whole family are just thespians, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, even Somizi's daughter, she's also a thespian. Yeah. Bahumi. Yeah.
Bahumi, yeah. She's also a great filmmaker. Actually, saw a
She's a filmmaker as well.
Yeah, she's stepping into directing.
Jesus.
I saw a short film she did for a third year last year. I was actually on a panel of critics.
Hey, the Mhlongas are talented in many ways, eh?
Yeah. So the point that I'm trying to get to there is though I also like those films, you know, that because I grew up watching them at a time where I wasn't even aware that these are South African films. I was just watching innocent. Oh, it's a nice movie. I like this movie. Oh, this is a sad movie. Stuff like that. But anyway, number 37, obviously.
I know, yeah. Nasipo Dumisa. Yeah, you love her, eh? You love her.
Yeah, that was my introduction to her. Nasipo, please get back to making movies. We love Blood and Water.
Yeah.
Please get back to making movies. I can't wait to see your next
Speaking of Blood and Water, actually, I believe that Blood and Water, well, Queenstone and Blood and Water, I think, was the stepping stone of like what's to come in the future. Yeah. Well, back in that time, because when I watched it, I was like, I'm so excited for SA films and series. Like with Netflix coming on board, I was like, this is gonna take us to another level.
Especially on the end of like production value, those are really really good. Like Queenstone is really really good. Like.
But many people don't like it. They're like, Pill 2C, yeah.
So that goes back to the question you asked. Why don't people like our films?
Yeah.
I once said it like years ago. We thought men's inspire on reviews on type, and we're still doing reviews on type. It's a combination of a lot of things, man. Some of our movies are bad. I'm not gonna sit here and act like some of our movies are really bad.
Yeah.
But also, those movies give the good movies bad PR because now people never get to the actually good movies that we have. So people just assume, South Africans make bad movies. Like, no, that's not true. There's a huge bunch of people who are just here for the cash, who are really bad filmmakers, who end up making a bunch of the bad movies. But a lot of the other movies end up flying under the radar. The Michael City, So the Winter to My Skins, all these films.
But see us here. Come through here. Come. Let people see you. This is Zikalala, director of Carrots. What's that? What's your new film that's coming up soon?
So we got 3. One is Forbidden Love, the other one is Divulgence, and the third one is Bury the Hatchet.
Jeez, I'm excited for that.
And currently writing a couple of exciting ones with the boy Abu Boy.
Hey, yalla boys, eh?
Yeah, no, he's dope, dude. He's absolutely amazing creative. Abu Boy, check him out. Also need to quickly plug some other really, really dope creatives. Eddie, for sure. Never London Without, absolutely amazing cinematographer, and CCS one, a really, really exciting up-and-coming creative and director, writer. Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, that's all cool, man.
Just served.
Yes.
Just to Serve, 29th of July, streaming on Netflix in 190 countries, 222 million subscribers.
Shout out.
Media training went in.
Shout out.
But also, just to quickly say, the interviews with these 2 gentlemen were absolutely amazing. Absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to do it again, guys.
Shout out, thanks, yeah. Those interviews, we'll be dropping them very soon on our channels and platforms. SA Film Chronicles, please subscribe. NqanaweLIVE, please subscribe as well. But I wanted to talk about the inconsistencies in terms of the inconsistency. So let me make an example, and I'm going to be very brief because I'm an honest man. So we get a film like, right? my public opinion.
now.
I'm mentioning.
Okay.
I'm ruthless,
Okay.
right? So why is there so much of inconsistencies?
I love that you asked that question. You've kind of actually spoken about it before a little bit.
Yeah.
It goes back to literally the fact that as South Africans, we don't watch our own stuff.
Yeah.
So if he's writing and directing a film that is arguably the best thing we've ever seen or will ever be made in South Africa, and I don't watch it, I don't have a bearing of at what level are we firing at right now. Filmmakers my age, how hard are they going? And I wake up tomorrow, I'm like, I want to make a film called I'm a Blessed. No offense.
We're just trashing people, yeah.
I'm making an example, or I don't know, Chandelier. Let's call it Chandelier, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't watch his film, which is a 9.5. I'm just making an example here. Do you realize, Uguti, I have nothing to gauge myself against? Uguti, oh shit, I can't make a movie called Chandelier that is absolute garbage just because I thought it tickles me, you know? Because I'm not watching my peers. You have to watch your peers, bro.
Yeah. That's the only way we can grow.
From a supportive level, but also, yes, from a competitive level, because we are competitive. So we're not going to sit here and act like, no, we're competitive. If you put out something, I'm like, shit, that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
I'll be like, fuck. The next movie I make, I want it to be as dope as, or doper than.
And that's how you lift the bar.
That's how you lift the bar. But if I don't watch your shit, what happens? I don't know that
you don't know. So you think you're making a good film. Meanwhile, your film is like, Nqanawe's film's like here, then Eddie's film is like, boom.
You get what I'm saying?
And that's the problem we have with inconsistencies.
Another thing I've noticed with inconsistency is that all the filmmakers who make the best films in South Africa watch other films. Other South African films.
Yeah.
Jamil I've had the pleasure of interviewing him many times, and I always have these questions that if you answer them, I can gauge how much you know about South African film.
Yeah.
Jamil lives and breathes South African film. And you can tell that not only from his films, but you can tell that when he answers, like I'll ask a question.
When you interview someone, you can actually tell,
like, what's your and it's not even a trick question, it's a real genuine question.
Yeah.
What's your favorite South African film? And they don't go to the Jerusalem, which everybody goes to, which are great films, by the way. They're not great films, but they'll start mentioning films that you're like, oh shit, I've never heard of. This is my field and I've never heard of that film. I need to write that down. I need to go find it.
Check it out. Yeah,
that tells you this person actually watches South African films, and they'll tell you about a film that wasn't, you're like, oh wow, you learn a lot from them just by asking the question. And I mentioned Jamil because I've interviewed Jamil, and he has, mentioned movies that I didn't even know exist. And you're like, no wonder your movies are so fucking good.
Because you understand South African cinema.
You watch people before you. He watches the old movies. If you watch So the Winter to My Skin, bro, there's so many nuggets from old cinema. That's why I love Mayfair also by Sarah Fletcher. There's a scene in Mayfair. It's on Showmax. You should actually go watch it.
I'll check it out.
It's so good. It actually had one of the actors that's actually in Justice Served.
Well, who is this? Describe them.
The Indian.
Oh,
he was Rajesh on Isting.
Yes, her name is Jalation.
No. That's the lady.
Oh, the other guy. Oh, the director in Justice Served. Yeah.
So
the detective. Sorry.
Yeah, detective. Yeah. So there's a scene. I remember once again, you'd know, going to the cinema watching a South African film. It's empty as fuck. You're the only one there.
Dude, we went to a screening for a specific company.
Yeah.
And it was me, you, and Dintley were the only people there.
The only people there watching a South African film.
That was wild.
No one else. And I usually go to that place for screenings, and for every other movie, it's always packed.
Yeah.
But when it was a South African film, granted the film wasn't great. I'm not going to sit here and act like it was a shit film.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is that's not the point. But the point is, did you watch it though? I watched it. I know it's a shit film, but did you?
Yeah.
It could have very easily been one of the best films I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm trying to get to is that I was watching Mayfair at the cinema first time when it came out in 2018, and I'm watching this film, and there's a scene, man, at the end. Also, you learn so much from watching South African films, things you didn't know that happened just around you. And there's a scene at the end that comes on, and this guy is like building this new project, and it's like he's rebuilding his old cinema from his childhood, the villain. And on the screen, that what's being projected is an old South African movie, and I know the movie. It has Ken Gambo in it, one of our best actors ever. May his soul rest in peace. Ken Gambo,
Don't even know him. I need to go research.
Ken Gambo, he starred in, there was a series they used to play at SABC1 as a series called Ingumba Emnyanya. He starred in, man, it was a lot. You remember the actor called, the series called Velapi?
Yes, yes. Oh, what a series,
that
man.
actor also, the actor who plays Velapi, as much as he was a comedic actor, he was a very serious, dramatic actor and a very brilliant actor. So they starred in this, you should, I'm judging it. Because they actually, but anyways, the point I'm trying to get to is, even that, like, I'm sure there are a lot of people who watch that film who have never, like, you would have watched the film, but you would have never known that the film being projected during a scene of another film is a classic, is a South African classic. It's like watching, I don't know, it's like watching Ozark and seeing them watch Breaking Bad at the back, and you're like, oh shit, that's Breaking Bad. Ozark is sort of like self-referential, or watching The Godfather and seeing.
And you're seeing aspects of yes, and we see that a lot with the Hollywood productions. I don't think we see that in South Africans.
So that's why I wanted to cry tears of joy, because I was like, wow, a South African Easter egg, bro. Like, this is so dope. Like, I've never seen a filmmaker do this, where you're referencing something South African. Well, they do it, but like at that level.
Yeah.
The point that I was trying to say is, you see it even in the filmmakers' works, these filmmakers' works that watch other filmmakers and know South African film history, South African cinematic history. If you watch So the Winter to My Skin, there's so many things that are in So the Winter to My Skin that are owed to the very early ages of Black South African cinema, you know. Even the music Jamil intentionally places and plays in there. You're like, oh my God, I remember waking up as a child on a Sunday and my father was listening to this type of music. You know?
Yeah.
This very a cappella type of music, tatami, shit like that, where you're like, oh, this is rich in South African culture.
Yes.
But he's not going to put it in your face and be like, oh, by the way, this is such a type.
And he implements that in his films.
In his film, and you get what I'm saying. So
yeah.
And we sit here and we're happy watching Hollywood films, which Hollywood films are great. I love Hollywood films. Well, I go out for every film. So I'm not sitting here saying, we should just support. No. I watch everything under the sun, bro. Like, I watch. It could be that's how I end up knowing whether something is dope or not. It could be the worst thing on the face of this earth, and I'll commit. I'll sit and finish it and be like, that was whack.
But that's because that's where the passion comes from, because you love this. You love South African cinema and things like that, you know. I actually want to speak to you about, you told me before that you've interviewed some directors and you've asked them, like, name me top 3 favorite movies, and they can name one, and then they just stutter, they don't know.
And, that's the thing, because when you ask it, man, I always use it as an icebreaker in my interviews. You know, I always try to have these fun icebreakers where I'll ask a question. Back then, the question that I was asking a lot was a question you would see, top 3 favorite films of all time, South African, strictly South African, because obviously the channel is strictly South African. And it's not a trick question, it's literally just a question to help educate others, because also you're a filmmaker, so you've been here longer than I have. I'm going to learn from you, and the people watching my video are going to learn from you. And you find that, you know, filmmakers have actually been around for quite a long time. They can't name you more than 2 films, and one of them is Tsotsi, and I'm just like, bro, you get what I'm saying?
Like, and that was like 20 years ago.
But then you're here saying we should watch your film, but you clearly don't watch other films.
You haven't even watched the recent stuff.
You don't watch other filmmakers' films. People they literally be like, Flip, come watch which movies came out this year. I'm like, you should know better than me, bro. Like, I'm happy to be here. This is a privilege for me. Like, I had to fight to be here. When you work in this industry, you know the ins and the outs. You could tell me about a movie I once saw a screening of a movie that never came out, and it was one of the best things I've ever seen. But it's basically that.
Like, I'm running out of water. Can you give me some water, please, BK? Thanks so much.
I think also another thing is the fact that, I'll be honest,
thanks so much.
Filmmaking is very difficult.
Yeah.
It's very taxing. It consumes a lot of time.
Especially with like a tight budget.
So what I've noticed is the fact that when you're working in this industry, you don't get a lot of time to just for yourself to consume other things. So yes, with others it's very valid. Others use it as an excuse, but with others it is valid, where people are like, yo, bro, I don't get to watch movies, or I don't know what came out this year or whatever, because I'm always busy editing, directing, shooting, writing. You get what I'm saying? So there are cases where you can't always, obviously.
Thanks so much, BK. It's BK, top D.O.P, this guy, top D.O.P.
Can't always be on top of everything, you know, especially when you start practicing, because you have like 12 to 18-hour days. You barely get time to sleep or breathe, you know, so you don't always get time to binge a series or do this, that, and the third. So some I will cut them some slack, but there's certain things where I'm just like, okay, that shouldn't ever happen. You get what I'm saying? Especially when there are other filmmakers who are doper than you, who still manage to get the time to watch and like take in the culture and consume the culture. But yeah,
it's the reality that we live in. I also want to know from your side, what do you think about gatekeeping? Because I think that plays a key role in this industry. Like, there's so much gatekeeping, and it's not even funny.
I don't know. So, I mean, I'll be honest now. I've never experienced gatekeeping. I think because of how I've approached navigating my career.
Yeah.
Which has always just been trying to make my own shit.
Yes. I mean, you're a hustler, man. Like, you just get out there, put your own work out there.
Well, so because of that, I think I've experienced, I wouldn't say I've never experienced gatekeeping, but the people keeping the gates are never the people that I find myself, those are never the gates I'm always finding myself trying to get through in any case.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh, okay, that was fucked up, but like, I'm not trying to do this or do that.
But how many times though do we see like, I'm gonna mention Mandla Dube, phenomenal director, and his collaboration with Tawara Mete is insane, man. Like, he's been on Kalushi, he's been on Silverton Siege, and he also actually mentioned the Bai Showcase. So Yaz and him actually hosted that the Bai Showcase. So I watched Mandla speaking, and he actually said that shout out to Yaz. Like, also he's doing the most. Like, talented, amazing podcast as well. And he's also a writer.
Yeah, he's a writer. He's a writer and director. It's 4 films.
Jeez. People are really hustling out there. You think to yourself, like, what am I doing with my life? But he actually mentioned that, like, if you can master your craft and you work with him, then you've got a high chance of working with him again. Like he even said with Tawara Mete, whatever film or series he's going to do next, he'll probably include Tawara Mete in it.
Yeah.
And that's such a beautiful collaboration. But at the same time, someone else can see it and be like, yeah, no, but that's gatekeeping. Why don't you give a new upcoming filmmaker a chance? But I don't think people understand that, like, some people have a directing style and a certain way that they direct, and a person like him probably plays a character. He understands you because, as a director, you explain like how you want things, blocked scenes and whatever, how certain things must be done. And he probably understands it best and implements it the best way, and implements the director's vision the best way. So,
So it's exactly that, because I'll make an example. Here's a cinematographer, here's a director. As time goes by, you guys are going to build like some sort of like synergy.
Synergy, yes. So cinematic language, synergy.
Yes. At some point, BK doesn't need to ask you, how do you want us to shoot this?
Yes, because I think we've actually reached that level now. We've reached
exactly
that.
What you want, to the point where BK can start doing his own thing, which, okay, I want to do it like this. And you'll be like, oh shit, I actually like that too.
That's happened a lot.
So that's another thing. At the end of the day, I usually say, for me, filmmaking and arts in general, the creative, for me, the difficult part, and like 90% of the hard part of the job are the people. The creative part, for me at least, I know for some people it's very difficult too, but the creative part is so easy, bro. I can write a script in a day. I can shoot something now. I can edit, all these things. That's not the difficult part for me. When it is difficult, it's interesting, it's challenging in a nice way. I actually want to crack it. It's like solving a puzzle, right? Where that's the only level of difficulty I experience. The difficult part is the fact that people forget that most of this job is literally just managing people.
True.
You're dealing with people, their emotions, their thoughts, everything. And yourself. And the creative part is like 5%. And to try and communicate that in the shitstorm of everything else, I woke up drunk, I'm broke right now, when are you paying me? All these things.
Character development.
And you're there in the middle. At some point, bro, I don't care. Not I don't care, I do care, obviously. But when I'm on set, maybe I lock in, man. I'm not the most emotionally available person. I'm just here to do this one thing. But I know Eddie's dog could have died this morning. Obviously, I'm not saying. I'm not that.
No, don't worry.
The point I'm trying to say is, I know when I ask Eddie to do this, within a minute, bro, like he knows exactly what I want him to do, and he's gonna do it exactly like that. Later on, Eddie can be like, "Yo, man, by the way, my dog, oh my goodness," but we're not there anymore. Now we're here. Now we're talking about the dog. Now we're talking about this, that, and the dog. Oh, you need some money, bro? No problem. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with new people every day, it's good, it's cool. But I'm saying I understand the people who like. I worked with this actor on my first film, and I've been working with this actor for the rest of my career. You get what I'm saying? It's because this actor knows exactly what I want. This cinematographer knows exactly what I want. This, so and so and so. So it's very, very, very important, obviously, to collaborate. And I think this is where the having ideas and letting go of certain ideas. Like if you have an idea, you don't have to direct it. You don't have to write. That's where you can be like, okay, I have this idea, but you can write it.
Yeah.
So now you're opening up a door for another person. You're like, I have two ideas. This one, I want to write it, or I want Nqanawe to write it because he's my lifelong collaborator.
Yeah.
But this other idea also that I really want to do, I can give it to someone else. And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are too precious about their work. You can have an idea and you be an executive producer. It's fine, and you go there and you do your other thing. So I think that's very important. Like, no, don't waste any idea, and when you have a chance, work with as many people as possible. That's also another thing.
Power of collaboration all the time.
So it's a double-edged sword type of thing. Yes, obviously, if Nqanawe is always working with Eddie, bro, when are we gonna get a chance?
But you see, there's been some fire combos, like of like a director working with an actor, and you can just see that synergy, to be like. You can tell that, like, wow, it's actually, it's impactful. And also, I'm going to wrap up just now because I think we probably have to leave. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can actually see that, like, one of the impacts I've seen is that partnership. Mentioning again, Mutemo Wings, my favorite cinematographer, he has with Kagiso Ledikga, they've done Matuetu together, they've done Queen Sono together. You can just see that the energies are good and that.
Also, just there, one last point. Another thing that I think people in that case tend to forget is the fact that by the time you see a person blow up, it's decades of.
Okay, Netflix is kicking us out now. They're like, we need our stuff, guys.
By the time you see a director and they're like, oh, this is their debut film on Netflix, you have no idea how much the person has done before getting onto Netflix. They've done 100 things.
Yeah.
And who do you think was there during those 100 things? When I'm shooting my second short film and I don't have money to pay anybody, and I call Ed and I say, Eddie, can you come help me? And he's like, no problem.
Yeah.
Do you think when I finally start getting the money, I'm not going to call Ed? You get what I'm saying? You did me a solid when no one else would.
Yeah.
I hit up 5 people and you're the only person who responded. Shout out to you.
And that happens often, eh?
It happens often.
In this industry, you will get blue ticked. You will get blue ticked.
You get what I'm saying? So, that's another thing that people, and look, man, there are people who will exploit you and be like, yeah, he's fine, he can work for free, he's happy to be here. And obviously you have to tread carefully,
Yes.
Sometimes you do have to avail yourself for certain people and things that you like. If you're like, okay, I like this idea, and fine, you guys can't pay, it's fine. For me, that's how I gauge things. Sometimes I look at the thing, it's okay, I've never directed a thing like this before, and I'd like to cut my teeth. Even if it's for free.
But you can only work for free for so long also, guys.
Yes, but
like you can't be 5 years working for free. Come on.
My point is that's how you start gauging. It's okay, what's in it for me? If I can't get the money, I can get the experience.
Or the exposure.
Or the exposure, whatever.
Or the networking.
Network. I mean, I'm more.
Yeah, you can relate with that.
I'm more interested in the experience part of things. I really want to try my hand at everything. So sometimes someone will come and say, yo, can you direct a comedy for me? I'm like, bro, I've never directed a comedy, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
If you want to have me on, I'm coming, bro. And this is how I'm going to learn how to become a comedy director. And then I'll go direct an action. And then this is why I'll find out, do I actually like directing? You get stuff like that. So even if you can't pay me, I'm not saying don't. If you can, do.
Yeah, but if you can't.
Pay me, we can figure something out. But chances are, if me and that person, I end up directing 20 things for that person for free. If they're a decent human being, who do you think on their 21st thing, that is the first paid gig, who do you think they call him to direct? And I've directed 20.
a lot going on here. Yeah.
When I've directed 20 things for you for free, and you like our energy, there's a shorthand for everything. The minute you start blowing up and you finally are like, yo, now I finally have a production budget. You call it now, bro.
True. Yeah. And you obviously because we've got that history.
We've got that history.
That connection. Yeah.
At this point, we're like, okay, now we actually remember that thing we tried to do on short film number 3, but we couldn't because we didn't have the money. Yeah, now we really go. Because I was there at short film number 3. And 4 and at 5, you get what I'm saying. So short film number 21,
building blocks, build those relationships.
You're like, finally we're here. Are you gonna go call I don't know who? No, chances are you're not gonna do that. Chances are you're gonna call me
because I know you best and we worked best together. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And
sometimes that does play into things, but it's tricky, man. It's
tricky
to navigate.
Tricky industry as well.
Industry, tricky.
Gotta hustle. Hey, gotta make things happen. Yeah. But we'll get into that conversation another day. Yeah. I just want to thank you personally, bro. Thank you so much for coming on to my podcast and channel. And I know this will be a building block for more things to come in future. Yeah, man. And what can we look forward to from you in the future? What's exciting? What's happening?
Oh, for me, man, nothing. So the thing is, I think I've told you this before. I don't put out a lot of my work.
Yes. You got lots of archives,
So I'm always just happy to be working most of the time. But I did something for some ladies that I work with pretty closely. I'm just waiting for feedback from them. So if they like it, then I can't say it yet. I don't want to say it yet. I want them to. I want to hear their feedback first. And then I don't know. I'll send you the link once it's out.
Sure thing.
And then actually I almost forgot. We're shooting a 4-episode skit series with Dali Danger for his upcoming album.
Danger, I've heard.
Dali Danger,
I've heard. Okay. Oh, you boys with Wasabi, yalla tough,
I know him, man. Yeah. I don't want to act like.
So you're also doing music videos as well. It's cool. Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, like you want to explore that. Yeah.
So we're doing a skit series for him, 4 episodes.
Dope.
That's the name of the album.
See, guys, we're chilling with real hustlers here. These are real hustlers.
Please come to my channel. Please watch NqanaweLIVE.
Yes.
Basically, we do the same thing. I don't need to go into depth about
movie reviewing, filmmaking,
Come to the NqanaweLIVE YouTube channel. If you hear music playing on the NqanaweLIVE YouTube channel, it is by 2 artists named Lesedi and Silas. They go by the name of Jukebox. They're some of the best artists I've ever heard in my life. That's what you can look forward to.
Yeah.
I actually shot some videos for them, and I'm planning on cutting them together soon
and
putting them out.
I dig your intro. Like, feels so good. Oh my God, it feels so good.
That's Sui.
Flip, dude. I was like, who's Sui? Who's Sui?
He was actually here. I think he did like the early interviews. The nigga with the dreads. We usually.
Oh, it's not punch. There's no punch. No,
I know when I got here, he had left. But
that was so dope, man. I'm like, every time, it just rings. Oh my God, feels so good. That was dope, man. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for
and definitely shooting more.
One of these. One of these again. Like I said, guys, I've been trying to come here for a very long while.
But finally, we're here. Finally, But thank you so much. If you've made it this far, you're a real one. You're a day one. And I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. I hope we've educated you and shared our personal experiences. And feel free to DM us. We're always willing to give advice and help where we can. I mean, we're still growing ourselves, but
I still consider myself I'm not an amateur, but I still approach.
But it's the power of collaboration as well.
Because it keeps me excited, man. You always you are always learning here, bro. So that's another thing. Let's take it easy, guys, and just have fun. Try and have fun.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And also, let's do dope shit, bro. Let's stop doing
Just get out there, shoot your work, get yourself out there, network. Just do the most.
If don't be afraid. Just do stuff that nobody will ever get to see. Fail in silence by yourself. When you feel like you're dope enough, then come to the foreground, and which is basically still what I'm doing. That's why I hardly put out my stuff, is because I still feel like it's not at that level that I like. So it's very daunting, better to create. Creating is very daunting, but don't let that get you down. Just keep working.
Never stop the grind as well. Never stop the grind.
Keep working even when nobody's watching. there'll come a time where you'll crack it, bro.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nqanawe.
Thank you, Doc.
Peace, love, and happiness. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Ramohlale. Check out SA Film Chronicles podcast on all podcasting streaming platforms, and then check out Ramohlale on YouTube. In the meantime, remember to work hard, be nice people, and try not to get lost or killed. No, wait, that's not my exit.
Try not to get lost.
Try not to get lost or killed, but remember to live life at your own pace and run your own race. Okay, I love you guys. Goodbye.